Good afternoon. Welcome to EduSet Network. Friend, as you know, today we are going to discuss sociological thinker Durkheim. We'll try to understand his life, works, and contribution in sociology. And we'll also try to understand how the Durkheim sociology is important to understand the problem of contemporary India. And for discussion on this very topic, we have in the studio Dr. Subhas Mahapatra. He teaches sociology in the University of Delhi and has long experience of about 25 years of teaching sociology, and has written 3 books on the sociology subject, and he writes regularly articles on different journal, national, international journal, and newspapers. So I think his knowledge and experience will help us to understand Durkheim and give insight how to understand the Durkheim sociology. So on behalf, I welcome him for EduSet lecture. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. It's a great privilege once again to come back to the studio and to address to the students and the colleagues all over the country. When I'm delivering a talk on Emile Durkheim, the first question comes to my mind is, why to discuss a scholar in Indian context who has written his ideologies way back in 1858. Durkheim was born in 1858 and died in 1917. Is his contributions to sociology is only a matter of academic importance, or his contributions to the well-being of society stands important even to the societies today? I will make an attempt to look at the crisis in Indian society and the crisis we are facing today are more or less similar to the crisis that French society faced during the latter part of 19th century. How this crisis, persistence in France, was addressed by Durkheim at that point of time. Can his remedials to the social issues and problems be extended to Indian society today or not? These are the most important aspects I'll be addressing to. I'll be dividing my lecture into 3 parts. In the first part, I'll be looking into how Durkheim looks into the whole question of sociology. In relation to that, the fundamental question of division of labor, borrowing ideas from some of his predecessors, and contradicting to the ideas of the scholars belonging to different fraternities of knowledge. How from out of this Durkheim study of division of labor, we got a kind of methodology for sociology and theories for sociology. In the second part of my lecture, I'll be looking into how Durkheim's understanding of division of labor is demarcating the boundary of sociology from that of other branches of social science. And in third part of my lecture, I'll be relating to Durkheim's understanding of society, remedials to social problems and issues, how they are relevant to contemporary India. I'll be devoting more time on the first part as it deals with his theoretical questions, ideas pertaining to division of labor. And there I'll be talking about how sociology evolved as a discipline with a distinctive methodology of its own from out of the contribution of Durkheim. Therefore, Durkheim is perceived as the father of sociology, though not the founder of sociology. He gave sociology a methodology, he gave sociology a subject matter, and distinguished sociology from that of other branches of social science. If you look at the life of Emile Durkheim, he was born in the family of rabbis. He was born as a Jew and he was trained in religion until he attained his teens. Durkheim then developed distaste for religion, distaste for theological explanations of social life. And he thought that social life can be examined, explained from a scientific perspective. So though he studied philosophy for a long period of time, he didn't have much of inclination in philosophy. He taught philosophy in different provincial schools of Paris till 1887. Then this was the most important year in Durkheim's life, when he got a chance to visit Germany. And in Germany, he got primarily exposed to the writings of William Wundt. And Wundt was a very famous scientific psychologist of his time. Therefore, from Wundt we got to know how scientific theories, methodology can be applied to the field of sociological inquiry. Then he came back to France and submitted 2 PhD theses in an interval of 1 year. So first PhD thesis is submitted, that is in French language, in the year 1892. That was De la Division du Travail Society. If you translate that into English, it will mean division of labor in society. In the year 1993, he submitted a PhD thesis in Latin on Montesquieu. So these 2 PhD theses largely spoke about the use of scientific method in the field of sociological inquiry. And his powerful writings, both in terms of methodology and in terms of theoretical orientation, earned him a teaching primarily position in University of Bordeaux. So when he became a full-time teacher in University of Bordeaux, he gave more importance on explaining social issues and problems from a sociological standpoint, which was unique in terms of its approach and also in content. Durkheim's interest in division of labor is primarily reflecting on his commitment to sociology. Let us first discuss about what division of labor is all about. Ordinarily speaking, in every society, people specialize in different kinds of activities. And the specialized activities give them an identity. And on the basis of this occupational identity, people earn primarily their livelihood. They enjoy certain status and position in society. Therefore, division of labor is not only talking about the economic life of society, rather it is talking about individual's attachment with occupation and the returns he is receiving from his association with occupation. Prior to Emile Durkheim, people belonging to different branches of knowledge have developed keen interest in the study of division of labor. Large body of economists like Ricardo, Keynes, J.S. Mill, Adam Smith, they have taken considerable interest in the study of division of labor. An outstanding contribution to division of labor in the field of economics is developed by Adam Smith. Adam Smith tells, with the rise of industrialization, mass production has taken place. To facilitate this mass production, people have got engaged in different kinds of vocations. Therefore, division of labor is a product of economic transformation of society. When technology changes, mode of production changes, consumption behavior changes, people get into different kinds of activities and market is expanded. People get into market in different capacities, play their roles in diversified ways, and most importantly, market determines the economic fortune of the people. And on the basis of this economic fortune, people get access to varieties of consumption items, comfort items, luxury items. So what is giving them highest form of happiness? Therefore, economic happiness is foundation to social happiness. So Adam Smith tells that people get into market on the basis of their independent choice. So a free man enters into market on the basis of his choice. He is studying market effectively, participating in different kinds of productive activities, and ultimately he produces quality, deliver quality production to the market, to primarily stay there in the market for the longest possible period of time. Therefore, market is not a source of giving you money. Market is the ultimate source of happiness. This is a beautiful idea which is being spelled out by economists of 19th century who consider that all possible happiness man gets is coming out of material possession, and that is procured through market, because market is not differentiating one individual from another individual on the basis of one's birth or other kinds of identity. Market is open. It is not controlled by state. It is driven by universal rules. It gives chance to everybody. Therefore, people get into market to prove their worth, and market gives them varieties of benefits in economic terms, what guarantees them perpetual happiness. So therefore, division of labor is a product of economic transformation of society. Classical economics talk about it. Karl Marx is looking into division of labor from a distinctive perspective. Karl Marx is questioning to, the wisdom of utilitarian scholars. So he tells, no, division of labor is a making of bourgeois in modern capitalism. Bourgeois dominate over means of production. They control the force of production. And controlling force of production, that includes technology, that includes capital. So they primarily determine the opportunities for the others on the basis of their necessity and economic needs. Therefore, bourgeois, to maximize their wealth, are exploiting to the proletariats, guaranteeing them different kinds of occupations, appropriating the surplus value of their labor, and ultimately they are becoming prosperous by expanding their control over the constant capital. To put that in simple terms, exploiting to the laborers, guaranteeing them different kinds of occupational activities, a huge quantum of wealth is being pocketed by the bourgeois. And that wealth is reinvested. Therefore, money begets money. And money is primarily staying in the hands of a group of people, whereas masses are suffering from poverty. And these masses, being dependent on the entrepreneurial bourgeois class, they cannot rebel against bourgeois. Therefore, Marx tells, division of labor in modern society is exploitative in character, alienating labor from out of his produce. Division of labor in modern society is giving way to the growth of a falsified sense of happiness to man. A technocrat feels he is happy. He stands different from a poor man. Both stand different from a worker. So therefore, division of labor in case of modern capitalism is engaged in dividing the laborers than talking about division of labor. So we have two different contradictory impressions about division of labor in modern society. One coming from the writings of classical economists, other is coming from the writings of Karl Marx. Therefore, when one is glorifying to division of labor in modern society, other is questioning to division of labor, and this contradiction between these two kinds of ideas is offering us a platform to debate on division of labor in case of modern industrial or capitalist society. Durkheim is not putting himself into this debate. He tells that division of labor is not an economic fact. It means people keep changing their occupational associations, activities, because of social transformation. Therefore, division of labor is universal in character. In every society, people are engaged in different kinds of activities, and the activities people are engaged in varies from one society to another society. Therefore, who will be doing what kind of work, for how long, and through this work how he is going to relate himself with others, what kind of happiness he is getting from out of his work, are all external to him. To put that in simple terms, if you take the example of caste system in India, a Brahmin is a Brahmin for the reason that the normative conditions present in this society, conscience collective present in this society, value system present in this society indicates a man born into a particular family should be engaged in one kind of occupation. So therefore, society defines, determines, directs individuals to get into a kind of occupation. Therefore, one's association with occupation is a product of the design of the society, direction of the society, and it is greatly dependent on the discourses of society. Therefore, when society changes, old form of division of labor is replaced by new kind of division of labor. Now you see there is a new kind of conscience collective developing in India. Here society has created opportunities for individuals to become doctors, engineers, professors, civil servants, entrepreneurs, and so on. So therefore, there is a new conscience collective evolving in India, giving people opportunity to go for different kinds of occupation on the basis of their choice. Therefore, people conforming to the will of society are going for one occupation or the other. Therefore, society guarantees occupational opportunities to the people, laid down provisions pertaining to how we should be getting into this occupation. Therefore, conforming to the will of the society, we compete with each other, get into a given kind of vocation, stay attached to that vocation, and get returns from the vocation. And from out of that vocation, we get our name, we get our identity, we get our status in society. Therefore, division of labor is not a product of economic change. Nature, form of division of labor is a product of social structure of society. Thus, logically speaking, when society changes, old form of division of labor is replaced by new form of division of labor. Therefore, Durkheim is driving the point back home that division of labor, till now considered as a subject matter of economics, should be believed as a subject matter of sociology. As you all know, Durkheim was a product of post-revolutionary France. After French Revolution, it was perceived that France will be evolving into an equalitarian society, where different ethnic groups will be developing a strong sense of belongingness. Nation building should be getting a priority from the people. People will be engaged in making money, and making money will not be an end in itself. Modern institutions like democracy, And within democracy, political parties, bureaucracy should be behaving in a very responsible manner for the collective well-being. All people should have access to education. They should be enjoying complete liberty. And enjoying freedom and liberty, the educated people, on the basis of voluntaristic choice, will be participating in different kinds of activities which will be gratifying to their self-interest and social well-being. But unfortunately, in case of France, social turmoil became primarily imminent. You'd be noticing that France got engaged in war for continuous period of time, long period of time. Then you find out, in industries, laborers are greatly exploited and entrepreneurs are making profit by exploiting labor. The people in power are more concerned about staying committed to power than primarily public well-being. The kind of education that revolution anticipated in France didn't take place. Theocratic, philosophical education is extended to the people. Education is not giving people a spirit of belongingness. Education is not talking about how the young mind should be motivated to go for moral commitment to society, make meaningful contribution to social well-being, to primarily come together for social reconstruction, guaranteeing collective happiness. Therefore, Durkheim is realizing, as primarily true follower of Enlightenment ideology, that what we expected French society to develop as is nowhere close to the real condition present in France. Why this turmoil? Why these contradictions? Why this difference between the idea we primarily perceived for the reconstruction of France and the kind of realities we are experiencing today? So that propelled Emile Durkheim to primarily write his thesis on division of labor, keeping social transformation as the point of reference. Therefore, Durkheim indicates that when we speak about division of labor, we are not supposed to speak about changes taking place in economic sphere of society. Rather, while speaking about division of labor, we must have to keep in mind that division of labor is a product of society directing institutions to primarily recruit people in different ways, and the individuals are engaged in different capacities as a part of the institution to conform to the will of society. Therefore, division of labor is an analysis about man's relationship with institution, institution's relationship with society. Therefore, division of labor is a story of interface between individual and society. Therefore, division of labor is a subject matter of sociology and it should be considered as a social fact. When Durkheim talks about how society changes, he is primarily encountering with the contributions of his predecessors. Social contract theory indicates that people developing contractual relationship with each other make society possible. Therefore, society is a product of agreement among the individuals. It means individuals make society on the basis of their choice for the gratification of their common political interest or their common utilitarian interest. He is influenced by the writings of Saffel, another French scholar. Saffel writes that society is prior to the individuals, those who are the constituting parts of it today. So it means much before I was born into this society was present. I became a part of this society. Others born during my generation and others' generation, they became a part of the society. Therefore, individuals don't make society. Society is prior to individuals. And every society is driven by a well-defined body of norms, provisions, ethos, values, moralism, body of laws, to which are centrality to society. And these common doctrines, common values, common ethos, which are the essence of society, are transmitted to both institutions and individuals. As a part of the society, we share it, we learn it, follow it, and driven by the directives of these moral conditions, we manifest a kind of behavior as a part of family, as a part of industry, as a part of bureaucracy, as a part of market, as a part of any other organization. Therefore, individual behavior is not independent to the normative provisions of the society. Therefore, society, through its normative provisions, is offering direction to individuals and guidelines to the institution. When this connectivity between the three is present, then society is subjected to continuity. Therefore, he is contradicting to the writings of social contract theory forwarded by Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, indicating that society is prior to individual, and is using a new phraseology here, sui generis. Society is unique, exclusive. It is self-created, self-maintained, self-perpetuative in character. Meaning, I may die, but society will continue. Therefore, society is subjected to persistence without individuals, and individuals cannot exist without society. Man is following the guidelines of the society, and society can simply fulfill the expectations of man. Therefore, if you make a kind of comparison between individual and society, you will notice it is society who directs individuals, who is giving a blueprint to primarily different institutions pertaining to how they should operate, how they should function, and how they should persist. So, here he is offering criticism to social contract theory. Second theory is forwarded by the demographers like Hilberg, who advocate that the structural design of the society changes with the changing size of population. Durkheim gets deep down into it, telling that where demography ends, their sociology starts. Therefore, demography gives input to sociology, but demography is different from sociology. And brilliantly he tells, when the size of population increases, expands, the interrelationship between the population also changes. And changing interrelationship among the population gives rise to new form of relationship. For example, if in a village people are primarily living together, it is because of the fact there is a small body of population meeting each other face to face. They share common norms and values, but when there is a population explosion, the people living in the village cannot be accommodated within the territorial regions. When they expand, they will not be sharing to common values. The values will become different. People will not be directly known to each other. Therefore, suspicion will develop, anxiety will develop, strain in the relationship will develop. So, therefore, new form of social order will be so different from the old kind of compatibility people had towards each other. Therefore, demography changes, and with the changing demography, it affects to the social life of the society. Therefore, how demographic change is contributing for social change, that is the subject matter of division of labor. So, therefore, he is brilliantly going beyond demography to explain division of labor from a holistic perspective, from a societal perspective. Another interesting theory pertaining to division of labor is forwarded by the psychologist of the time, Gabriel Train and others. Psychology tells an individual goes for a kind of occupation which gives him maximum psychic gratification, satisfaction. And Durkheim is smiling at this theory, or he's criticizing to this theory forwarded by the psychologist, telling that the whole conception of self for an individual is a social construct. It's very interesting. Making money during traditional India was looked down with contempt. And making money in modern India is a matter of celebration. Therefore, identity of self is a social construct. Means a businessman is getting recognition from society today, what he was not primarily getting in past. So therefore, you find out that a construction of self is a social construct. Who should be getting how much of respect? That is primarily a making of society, determined by the society. We simply pursue it, we simply follow it. So therefore, I am going for a particular occupation, not because of the fact it gives me happiness. Rather, I go for a particular occupation for the reason that it gives me optimum social prestige or optimum access to power. Therefore, society defines which occupations will be obtaining how much of status, how much of power, which occupations are relevant to society. So, corresponding to that, people go for different kinds of occupation in time and space. And not only that, society never differentiates between different kinds of occupation. If you look at modern society, the best scientists are rewarded, the best bureaucrats are rewarded, the best technocrats are rewarded, and the best politicians are appreciated. Therefore, varieties of occupation get appreciation from society. The man is having plurality of choice, from out of which he has to go for one. But he is not going for this occupation driven by self-centric motive. Rather, through this occupation, he is making meaningful contribution to his life and contribution to the life course of society. Therefore, division of labor is not a psychological fact, demographic fact, economic fact, political fact. Division of labor is an explanation about how societies are going for transformation, and because of this transformation, how people living in old society are becoming a part of new society, or new generation of people are coming forward. They are going for new kind of occupation, and when they go for new kind of occupation, how they relate themselves to each other, how they relate themselves with institutions, what kinds of turmoil and challenges and crises they face, and what is the outcome of this kind of turmoil or crisis. So therefore, in a brilliant way, through his analysis of division of labor, Durkheim makes an attempt to explain, number one, social structure of the society. Number two, he explains social change. Number three, outcomes of social change. Number four, how social change brings forward new kind of crisis, new form of problems. And four, what are solutions to this crisis and problems, which are the product of rapid social transformation that societies are experiencing. To explain that, Durkheim is influenced by the writings of two persons. One is Herbert Spencer and second is Ferdinand Tönnies. Herbert Spencer is the founder of evolutionary theory in sociology, who indicates that how societies are passing from simple stage to compound stage to doubly compound stage to triply compound stage. Triply compound stage he calls as industrial society. How society is driven by similarities are manifesting differences when technological transformation is taking place. New institutions are developing. New laws are making appearance. People are driven by multiple and varieties of choices. People go for different kinds of specialization. He is discussing that in detail. Therefore, Herbert Spencer, in his evolutionary theory of society, is talking about social transformation, indicating a shift from simple society to compound society. Similarly, if you look into Ferdinand Tönnies, he makes a distinction between Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft. Gemeinschaft refers to a society where you'll be noticing that community identity is present among the people. Small group of people are present, known to each other directly, connect to each other face to face, share common emotions, and how these traditional peasant, tribal, village communities, under the influence of industrialization, urbanization, are transformed into heterogeneous modern society, and how new institutions are developing, new form of specialization is making.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. We have a caller from Rajasthan. We take up the question
Yes.
first. Good afternoon, friend. Please ask your question. जी सवाल पूछिए. Okay, call drop. Okay, continue.
So, if you look into the writings of Tönnies, Tönnies makes a distinction between Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft. How community type of society is converged into associational society or Gesellschaft, where differences are present, specialization is present, complex bodies of rules are present, and at the same time, man is primarily leading independent life, getting connected to others on the basis of the needs of his vocation, needs of his life. So, Durkheim is influenced by the writings of these two people. And on the basis of that, he is explaining division of labor.
Okay. We have caller from Rajasthan. Good afternoon, friend. Please ask your question.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर मैं बीकानेर से बोल रहा हूँ राजस्थान से.
Okay. Ask your
Okay,
question.
हेलो
जी जी सवाल पूछिए.
सर, पॉलिटिकल थिंकर में जैसे कि उसके बारे में आगे बुक्स उसके बारे में बताइए जिसको इससे बढ़ावा दिया जा सके, उसमें रुचि कैसे बढ़ाई जाए उसके बारे में आप बताइए. कोई अच्छी किताबें कैसी देखे जाए, कोई साइट.
ओके. आज आपको बताना चाहूँगा, आज हम लोग सामाजिक चिंतक के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. तो सामाजिक चिंतक से रिलेटेड हुए पुस्तक सर से आग्रह करना होगा, बता दें सर. समाज सोशियोलॉजिकल थिंकर पर कौन सी पुस्तक पढ़े, कौन सी बुक?
इसमें आपको देखिए इग्नो का इंदिरा गांधी नेशनल ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी का जो बुकलेट्स है, ESO बुकलेट इसको बोलते हैं, वो किताब बहुत अच्छे होते हैं. ये किताब सारे यूनिवर्सिटी का प्रोफेसर लोगों ने तैयारी किए हैं, इसको आप पढ़ सकते हैं. और अंग्रेजी में बहुत सारी किताब अवेलेबल है, जैसे एंथोनी गिडेंस का हो गया, कि जॉर्ज रीजर का हो गया. लेकिन ये इग्नो का किताब बहुत अच्छा रहेगा आपके लिए, सिंपल लैंग्वेज में लिखा हुआ है, पिक्टोरियल एनालिसिस है इसमें, आप इसको रेफर कर सकते हैं.
Okay, and the other book is written by Giddens.
Giddens is
What
there,
is his name?
Capitalism and Modern Social Theory.
Okay. Okay, now continue.
ठीक है. So, Durkheim is primarily looking into these two theories, and on the basis of that, he is developing an understanding about division of labor in society. Durkheim looks into organizational character of society, dividing societies into two types. One is simple society and other is complex society. And he's subdividing simple societies into two types. One is simple polysegmental society, and the second is polysegmental simple compound society. And the other kind of society is polysegmental doubly compound society. Let me explain that in brief. When you speak about simple polysegmental society, it means a tribal society, where you find out different families are there, segmentation, polysegmental. But all the members of the tribe, they share common values, they share common norms, they reflect on the things and react on the things identically. You can explain that further. When they see clouds in the sky, all of them go for dance. They reflect on the cloud in the same way, and they call this as rain dance. When there is a marriage, people reflect on marriage in identical way. If there is a death, they attribute reasons to the death in identical way. Therefore, this kind of societies, simple polysegmental societies, are characterized by oneness of thought, oneness of perception, oneness of ideas, and all these people living in this simple society, they eat common kind of food. They live in common kind of houses. They have common sense of justice. They have common conception of religion. Therefore, these societies are driven by the elements of absolute similarity. Therefore, simple societies are the ones where one is the duplication of the other. I'll be calling these simple societies as one, where all people are potatoes in the same sack of potatoes, governed by common characteristics. Common dress, common manner, common speech, common conception of justice, common ideas, common association with technology, voluntarily gives them a sense of unity, sense of integration, sense of belongingness. Therefore, Durkheim tells that this society, simple polysegmental society, is promoting a kind of unity among the people, what is known as mechanical solidarity, means solidarity of similarity, solidarity of resemblance. So that is present in case of simple society. Then he goes on to say that when population expands in case of this simple society, the people in case of simple society, they keep on getting engaged in same kind of activity. All mothers will be playing same kind of role. All children will be engaged in same kind of activity. So therefore, all the people are engaged in common form of occupational activities. They are specialized in primarily in common way. And when they manifest their roles, they strictly conform to the normative cultural provisions of the society, what Durkheim calls as conscience collective. In this society, keep in mind, people's perception of moralism is equal and strong, because common consensus is being shared by the people. Common conscience collective is present in society. What is good, that is good to everybody. What is bad, that is bad to everybody. What is moral, that is moral to everybody. What is immoral, that is immoral to everybody. Therefore, strong sense of primarily values shared by the people is promoting a sense of unity among them. You will not be surprised to see that in the traditional villages, if any person belonging to a village is being primarily abused by another person belonging to another village, entire village used to come together. In sociology, we call this as village solidarity. That is solidarity of similarity. Then Durkheim goes on to say that when this kind of society experiences population explosion, it becomes practically difficult for the people to live in this same territory, same place. It becomes difficult for the people to meet each other face to face, share common emotions, participate in common kind of activities. Growing population demands spread of population to different areas. When population spread to different areas, the traditional form of harmony, traditional form of integration, traditional form of conformity to common value will no longer be sustained here. People will be specializing in different kinds of activities. So to primarily understand that better, you can make a comparison between tribal society and peasant society. In a tribal society, all are hunters and gatherers. You will be finding out in a tribal society, men go for hunting, women are chasing animals from one part of the forest to another part by beating drums. But in case of peasant society, you will be finding out, some are primarily carpenters, others are oilmen, others are ironsmith. So some kind of specialization has taken place here. Therefore, people differentiate from each other on the basis of changing structural composition of the society, which is stimulating them, motivating them, guaranteeing them, moralizing them to go for different kinds of occupation. In a tribal society, if one goes for different occupation than others, he is subjected to punishment. But in a peasant society, you need a carpenter to primarily construct a plough. You need an ironsmith. You need primarily other artisans to give you different kinds of support to sustain your society and economy. Therefore, when society changes, corresponding to changing nature of society, occupation structure also changes and society moralizes to this occupational diversity. Therefore, a shift from simple polysegmental society to polysegmental simple compound society is talking about the fact that when society changes, organizational character of society changes, needs of the people become diversified, then society demands from people involvement and association with different kinds of occupation. Therefore, division of labor is a product of social structure of society. When society changes, corresponding to that, nature, structure and form of division of labor also keeps changing. Then Durkheim, after discussing these two kinds of simple societies, makes a comparison between simple society, division of labor, with that of division of labor in complex society. He finds out with the rise of modern industries, technological transformation, urbanism, you find out people are greatly dispersed in different locations. Previously, people were living in one villages. They are meeting each other directly face to face. Now, people are dispersed in different parts of the state, country, and they are specializing in different kinds of activities. Modern man, Durkheim considers, is converted into a part producer and full primarily consumer. In this sense, specialization is so greatly demanded from modern man by the society itself, because heterogeneous population do have diversified needs. One cannot be engaged in all such occupations to fulfill all his needs. For an example, as a teacher, I need the service of a doctor when I am falling sick. I need the product of the farmer to gratify my everyday needs. So I need varieties of skilled men to primarily guarantee satisfaction to my growing needs on a continuous basis. I need plumber, I need baker, I need milkman, I need service providers, I need hundreds such occupational groups to lead my everyday life. Therefore, modern man is primarily specializing in one kind of occupation, but is largely dependent on varieties of other occupational groups to make his life complete and to gratify his needs. When people are unknown to each other, but still they are dependent on each other, and without the contribution of others, life becomes absolutely meaningless. In such a situation, society has to play a significant role. Therefore, what society does? Society brings forward formal institution, invisible mechanisms like rules of law to regulate interpersonal relationship among the people. When a farmer is selling his produce to a wholesaler, rules and laws spelled out by the state is protecting to his interest. Similarly, when the wholesaler is primarily providing these goods to the retailers, following the rules. When retailers are primarily getting these products, they are getting quality for which they are paying price. Therefore, everywhere you find out the invisible hand of the state is guaranteeing everybody right, so that cooperation among different groups of people is becoming possible. And through this cooperation, we primarily live a better life than the life experienced by the people living in the previous societies. Durkheim finds out that such kind of cooperation, such kind of regulation is impossible without the presence of society, regulation of society. So therefore he tells, when a simple society is transformed into a complex society, this transformation is not primarily free from pathological currents. So then he is bringing in the question of primarily anomic situation. What is anomic situation? Old society is dying out. Old institutions are dying out. New institutions are developed. But new institutions like schools, colleges, bureaucracy, industry, market, so these new institutions are not committed to society. People join these new institutions for the gratification of their self-seeking interest. Industrialist is joining industry to make profit. He is not committed to quality production, labor's right. Similarly, a teacher is appointed in the university to draw his salary. He is not primarily teaching nationalism to the students, characters to the students, moralism to the students, commitment to the students, character to the students. So therefore institutions are modern, but people's participation in modern institutions is driven by the spirit of individualism, spirit of egoism. Therefore disconnectivity between institution and society, self-centric orientation of man is giving rise to crisis and tension in social life. As a result, bureaucracy is present, but service delivery is absent. Industry is present, but wealth is pocketed by few and masses are suffering from poverty. Market is expanded, but not benefiting to all. Therefore, Durkheim calls this kind of situation as anomic situation, pathological situation. And he tells solution to this pathological condition.
So we have a call from Odisha. Good afternoon, friend. Please ask your question. जी सवाल पूछिए.
Good afternoon, sir.
जी
Sir, I have a question.
जी
How the brain drain is related to the division of labor, and the people are traditionally shifted from their basic occupations due to how is it economically accessible really?
It's a very interesting question actually. When you speak about brain drain, how related to Durkheim's theory of division of labor, I'll not be saying it's Durkheim's theory of division of labor. Most talented people of the country, they are having a big stake in primarily European market. So the people, those who can make meaningful contribution to national economic development, driven by the spirit of individualism, egoism, self-centric goal, are going out and making wealth. Now the trend is changing. The people go abroad to primarily learn the basics of their discipline, coming back to India, using that knowledge and taking country's economy to primarily new height. Look into entire entrepreneurs of new generation in case of Hyderabad. Most of them do have some kind of experience with multinational companies in America. So carrying knowledge from those countries, when they come back to India, bring a revolution in the field of software industry, I would consider that India is slowly getting away from pathological turmoils, and Indians are committed to nation building process in India.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now continue.
So Durkheim is primarily looking into this pathological stage and saying that this pathological stage is a product of rapid industrialization, rapid social change. Old order is disintegrating, new order has not yet developed, so therefore these kind of problems are occurring. He tells, in search of a great social order, people must be behaving in a moralistic way. But to behave in a moralistic manner, you need to have a greater social order. And to have that greater social order, you don't require a prophet. Rather, you should be transforming your own behavior, standing committed to collective conscience that is present in society. He tells, there is crisis in society. Laborers are exploited. There is crisis in society in the institutions like universities. There is crisis everywhere, but to get out of this crisis, we have to develop a new kind of conscience collective. And that new kind of conscience collective would be giving us new direction, will be giving us a new form of commitment to the needs of each other. Therefore, not being driven by self-centric egoistic interest, if we are driven by collective well-being, spirit of primarily happiness for all, go by the spirit of inclusion, then all these problems of pathological stage can effectively be taken care of. Therefore, Durkheim sociology is talking about the fact that every society is going through transition. Transition is having its own primarily, outcomes. And these outcomes of transition of poverty, destitution, economic inequality, and primarily, few people getting educated as against others. So these kind of problems can be taken care of if not being driven by individualism, egoism. We all come together, develop a kind of spirit for the well-being of society. He goes on to say, if society is happy, individual will be happy. If economy of the society experiences development, the benefit of that development will be shared by everybody. If in a society there is political stability, if in a society education is extended to all, if in a society people moralize to rules, laws, justice, then in that society man stays happy, society stays happy, and collective well-being is guaranteed. Therefore, I always keep saying that Durkheim is not just a sociologist. His fundamental interest was social reconstruction. How to bring solution to the problems of crisis that French society is experiencing during early part of 20th century. Therefore, he is more of a social priest than just being a sociologist. And he brilliantly tells, in a simple society when somebody is violating the rules of law, it is evident that that person must be eliminated. He calls this as repressive punishment. But in modern society, everybody is specialized. Therefore, a person committing a crime, economic offense, if a scientist is committing an economic offense, so he should not be annihilated.
So we have a call from Bihar. Yeah, good afternoon, friend. Please ask your question. जी सवाल पूछिए. Disconnect.
So, Durkheim tells that if in simple society somebody is committing crime, he should be annihilated, and that is known as repressive law. But in modern society, if a scientist is committing economic crime, he should be penalized and he should not be sentenced to death. Therefore, society changes, corresponding to society law changes, corresponding to changing nature of society occupation changes, old form of conscience collective is replaced by new kind of conscience collective, old collective representation is replaced by new collective representation. Therefore, man should be committed to institution. Institutions should be committed to society to promote a harmony, integration between individual and society. Therefore, division of labor is a subject matter of sociology, that being a subject matter of economics.
Okay. So, well, friend, we touched only, we can say, the introductory part of the Durkheim sociology. We are not able to cover the whole part. So, we will organize some more lecture on the Durkheim. And today I just gave the first introductory, or you can say the important postulate we try to understand the society. So, well, friend, I thank all of you for watching the lecture, and on your behalf, I thank Dr. Subhas Mahapatra for giving such a wonderful and insightful lecture on this very topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.